Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JU-I's channel. And also, I would like to say thank you, Heavenly Father, for waking me up this morning to this beautiful Thursday. And I hope all of you are saying the same thing. I know some of us left, but there's still a lot of us here. So just thank your Heavenly Father for waking you up this blessed morning. And this is something that I would like to share with you all. I just came across it on YouTube and it's very important. Thanks to health underscore rance01. Folks, I know a lot of you do not tune into YouTube, but you should start doing it. There's a lot of health channels on there. There's a lot of everything on YouTube. So, if you're into your health or you're trying to better your health, you should check it out. So, this is about your feet. Your feet are telling you something. If you have any of these issues, I'm going to name them. You should check with your doctor. I'm dead serious. It could save your life. Number one, muscle cramps in your legs. It could be that you are lacking magnesium. Cold feet all the time. It could mean poor circulation. You could be lacking iron or have low thyroid issues. Number three, swelling in the feet. It could be a blood sugar issue. Itching in the feet. It might be that you're developing type 2 diabetes. Number five, dry, cracked feet. It could be that you're lacking low vitamin B2. And last but not least, toenail fungus. It might be that you're having a gut imbalance or a sluggish liver. Check with your doctor like I just said. I'm dead serious. I take magnesium, but I guess I have to take an extra pill because from time to time, when I sit on the commode, I get muscle cramp in my legs. Well, in my leg, in the right leg. And someone told me that the other day also, so I'm going to give her this information also. So I do take magnesium, but I will take 2 instead of 1. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get older, your body doesn't have a lot of magnesium in it. It depletes. When you're younger, that is all in your body. But when you start hitting them big numbers, it becomes less and less and less. So you have to take a magnesium capsule or something with magnesium in it. You need to put more in your body. I know a lot of folks don't like to take pills or capsules or whatever, but magnesium comes in different forms. They have it in food that you eat and stuff like that. So, just Google it and get it whichever way that you can, but make sure you put it in your body. I'm dead serious. Yeah, so, I wanted to share that with everyone out there that watches my channel. And take care of all these little problems or issues that, our bodies be giving off. Our feet, they are telling us something about our body. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention. You have to pay attention. You know, our body gives off different signs. We just don't pay attention to them. You know what I'm saying? Things don't just hurt because it is going to hurt. Things are going on inside your body that make these problems occur. So make sure you check with your doctors. I know a lot of folks don't like to go to the doctor. Some don't have insurance and all that kind of stuff. But even if you don't go to a regular doctor, they have, I can't remember the name, but they have people that do health things to your body. They have stuff that they can give you. Of course, you have to purchase it. You're not going to get it for free. But I'm quite sure they'll make a certain payment plan with you or something. Herbalists, that's what I wanted to say. They have a lot of herbalists. They are natural healers. So you need to check them out and be on your way to better health. I remember when I was working at New York City College of Technology, I met this young man, story time. And oh my God, this man, one day he came into the college and he was in so much pain. He was like keeling over. You hear me? Keeling over, could hardly walk. But he didn't want to miss his class. So he tried and tried to get over there to go to this class. So when he was leaving, him and I, we always, people go by and they stop and chat with you and stuff like that, but I had to be careful because I'm on the camera. And, the supervisors, they have a thing about people stopping and talking with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but it's ignorant because my eyes can see all around me or who is coming in. I never take my eyes off the door or people, but some people do. Sometimes when you get into conversation, you completely be all in a conversation and you're not paying attention to your surroundings. So, the supervisors, they judge you because they think that you're not paying attention, so it's not that you're not paying attention. Lots of people are paying attention, but, they not thinking that way. So anyway, we don't want to let people in the building that don't belong in there, you know what I'm saying? We don't need no problems, so just follow the rules. That's what I always say. Follow rules. Even if you mad or not, just follow rules. Anyway, the young man, he stopped with me and I asked him, what happened? Why you walking like that? You seem like you're in a lot of pain. You need to go to the doctor. He said, oh, I don't like to go to the doctors. They give you a whole bunch of pills and all this kind of stuff to take and it don't do nothing, I said, well, you need to find some other route, because you don't look too good. So believe it or not, 2 weeks later, I saw the same young man. And guess what? He was walking. You hear me? He was standing tall and walking good. Yes, he was. I said, hey, what happened? What happened? Look at you. He said he went to an herbalist. He met this herbalist while he was waiting for the bus. He ran into this man. It was over there on Flatbush and Church Avenue. He met this man and the man gave him some information and, they talk and stuff like that. And he made an appointment and he went to him and he gave him this medication, this stuff, the herbalist stuff. And he has been taking it, it's not no pills. He was drinking it. You know what I'm saying? Because these people make natural stuff, herbalists. And he said he has been feeling 100% better than he was feeling because he couldn't even hardly eat. He was throwing up. He couldn't sleep. He was in so much pain. I told you, this man was like keeling over. And when I saw him, He was standing tall and walking good, like I just said. So, for those of you that don't like to go to the regular doctors, go to a herbalist. They come in male and female form. So you just check him out. Like he got lucky because he happened to be on the street and he was waiting for his bus and he ran into this person. I guess the person must have saw him walking. And sometimes, some of them be on the street, herbalist people, and they be handing out their flyers and stuff like that. That's how I guess he got in contact with him. Maybe he passed him a flyer and then he started telling him his problem. And they went from there and he's in better health. I don't know if he's still alive or not because I don't live in New York anymore, but I'm quite sure that he is. So good for him. Kudos to him. Kudos to him. So yeah, make sure y'all, if y'all don't want to go to the regular doctor, see a herbalist. You could Google up stuff too. Or if you walking by places and you see a store or whatever, and they say herbalist on it, you can also get the number or you can go inside and inquire. They have a lot of scammers out here, so you have to be careful and stuff like that. But yeah, they do have herbalists. They give you stuff from the earth to heal yourself because they themselves don't believe in medication from the doctors. You know what I'm saying? The northern doctors or whatever they call them. But I believe in doctors. I do believe in herbalists too. But I rather go to the doctor. If I have a health issue that I see the doctor can't help me with, or I myself can't help me with because I am almost like a herbalist my damn self because I make sure I read about stuff and I get the vegetables and the greens and the leaves and all of that stuff, and I boil it, I make my concussion and I drink it. You know what I'm saying? I don't always depend on doctors. And you know I was born in the island of Barbados. You know what I'm saying? A lot of island people knows this. And I was raised up around, elders and stuff like that. And, I watch what they did and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of stuff that heals your body comes from the earth. So, it's not like here in America where now people are really getting into all that kind of stuff. But and maybe some of the elders in the past, but on the islands, this is something that they do. I think from the time they come out, the mother's womb, it's something that you learn, you keep learning, from generation to generation. A lot of folks, they come to the United States or go abroad, and some of them they just tend to forget about all of that kind of stuff that they was raised upon and all that. But there's still a lot of people that's into it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're abroad, they'll find them Caribbean stores and stuff and buy the ingredients and fix their stuff at home. You know what I'm saying? But then again, there's some folks that they don't want to go through all of that. So they'll go to the herbalist or they'll go to a regular doctor, or they just won't go anywhere. They'll just stay there with the daggone pain. And no matter how much people tell them, oh, you should do this or you should do that, they don't want to. Well, I or whoever, we can't make people do what they don't want to do. They'll just have to suffer the consequences. So, I'm just sharing this with the whole wide world. You know what I'm saying? Things might be old fashioned, but in this day and time, a lot of that old fashioned stuff that we used to use and put in our bodies, it still work. So old fashioned and that, you could still use it in 2025, 2026, and going on and going on and going on. I'm dead serious. All right. So y'all have a beautiful Thursday. I'm going to go groom myself right now. As you see, I washed my hair yesterday. So I have to do something with it. And I'm not going to press it anymore because I noticed some strands came off. You know what I'm saying? I might have had too much heat to it, but I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I was just experimenting, but I'm not going to be putting no heat to my hair. You know, I haven't done it in a while, and I'm not going to be doing it anymore. So, yeah. And it didn't even make sense anyway because my hair came right back to natural like how it was, you know? Because, you know, when you press your hair with the hot iron or whatever, it straightens it. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the days, but damn, mine is natural. And I put the press and comb on it. I was showing y'all in the video, and my hair just curled right back up. It was like I didn't even do nothing. So what's the point? So yeah, I'm gonna go now and get the grooming. Miss Terry, you know, she texted me earlier, you know, because she always texts me in the morning, giving me a prayer or something, and I sent back one to her, which is nice. And I send it out to a lot of people on WhatsApp, but a lot of them don't respond back. I guess they don't want prayer in their life, or they too busy to respond back. But it's all good, you know. I don't take no offense. It doesn't bother me. I believe in the Almighty. You don't have to go to church to believe in the Almighty. I was raised up with him, and I'm going to die with him, and I'm going to go wherever he takes me. You know what I'm saying? Pray is good. Believing is good. Believing in the Almighty. You know what I'm saying? Not believing in the devil and all that witch stuff out there. I'm dead serious. And you will be okay. But yeah, you know, she told me to enjoy this rainy Thursday. I didn't even know it was going to rain because I didn't even look at the temperatures yet. But you can see some clouds, you know, they forming and stuff like that. The sun is like trying to come out. But whether it rain or not, I'm going to enjoy my day. I always do. Here in Florida, I always enjoy my day. I've been here since 2020. And like I said, I'm in a better place. And all that load that I had on me, excuse me, has lifted out of my body, my mind, and my soul. And I feel great. That's why I say I'm in a better place. A better place doesn't mean, you know, you might be living in a new state or a new country or whatever. You could be living in a new state, a new country, on a new island, and that doesn't mean that you are in a better place. A better place means where you're at, your mind, your body, your soul, everything that you have been harboring inside of you for many, many, many years. It's all gone. It was all removed out of you. And in order for that to happen, you have to believe, and you have to pray, and you have to meditate and trust in the Almighty and get all of that anger, hatred, hurt, especially hurt, all that pain, whatever was in there, you have to release it. So you have to be in a better place in order to do all of those things. And then you will start to heal. And therapy, you need therapy. Therapy. Getting a therapist helps. Not just going and talking to anybody, because anybody will tell you anything. They will listen to you, but then the next minute, they ain't even got time with you because they're going to look at it like you are freaking losing your mind. You know what I'm saying? So you need to talk to a professional. That's what they're there for. Talk to a professional. And some of them, you don't even have to pay. They have clinics in different places that have therapists that would give you the treatment for free. I'm not talking about taking no pills or plugging nothing into your brain or whatever. You sit one-on-one with this person and you talk to them. They ask you questions. They listen. You know what I'm saying? And it helps. The majority of people out there, they always say, because I heard them, oh, that's a waste of time. Why go sit down with these people and tell them your business? It's not about you telling them your business. You trying to release all of this pain that you got inside of you, that you had in there for years, for years, for years. And you've been in this bad place for the longest, and you don't know how to get out. You just don't know how to get out. You have to be in that right place. It doesn't matter what state, what country, what island, you have to be in that place. You, all of you, not just your body, your mind, your soul, your heart, everything have to be in that place where you can release all of this pain that you had in this gut, all, the whole body. You have to release it. Believe you me, hear what I say. You will feel 100% because I feel 100%. You can even try to write your own story. You can write your own story. They have ghost writers that you can get. You don't have to be a writer. They have ghost writers. You can Google it. Believe what I'm telling you. You can get yourself a ghost writer, and you and the person, y'all make arrangements about the payment, and you can write your own daggone story. Once you put your story on paper and you sit back and you read it, oh my God, you feel so great. You feel greater than you ever felt in your whole entire life. That happened to me, and I feel great. Every day I wake up, I feel greater. Because you know why? I release all of that hurt and pain that I had in me for so many years. From a little girl to a big grown-up woman now. Well, I'm not big, I'm still little. But yeah, I release all that. Do you know I don't even shed a tear? I don't cry. I don't have no reason to cry. I remember I used to always go in my closet. That's where I found comfort. And I used to sit in there and I used to cry and I used to scream and I used to curse out God. I was so angry with my Heavenly Father. I was like, why you let these things happen to me? Why are you letting these other things happen to me? Why? Why me? I used to say that. And then one day, that was before I moved to Florida. One day I stood in my closet. I was living on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn, New York, Flatbush area. I sat in my closet with all them tears pouring out my eyes. And I felt so bad that I cursed out God, that I was so angry with God. And I apologized. And I said, dear Lord, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to say those mean things. But why me? Why me? And it took time. Things continue to happen. Things started happening differently on the job and all that kind of stuff. It was like I was in this tornado just rolling around. Every time it was something different. I wanted to unalive myself. So many times I thought of doing it. I thought about jumping in front of the train. I thought about taking pills. I was just gone. I'm telling you. But there was something inside of me telling me, don't. You have something to live for. Something was telling me, you have something to live for. And as bad as it started getting on the job and stuff like that, it was a force inside of me that was telling me, you have to fight. You cannot give up. You have to fight. I wanted to quit my job and everything because I was so disgusted with everything that has happened to me throughout my life and then what was happening on the job at the present time. You know, the supervisors and this and that and that and that. It was just driving me to hell insane. And it was something inside of me. I was still praying to my Heavenly Father. I wasn't cursing him out anymore. I wasn't angry with him anymore. But I was just hurt to see people would do stuff like this to you. Even the ones that you're working with, your supervisors and all this kind of stuff. It was so painful. But you know what? One day, I got a call from my daughter, and she asked me if I could come down to when I retired, because I was about to retire, and she said, "Ma, I'm going to be doing the traveling nurse." It was around the coronavirus time. And she said, "Ma, can you come down? She needs someone to stay with her younger daughter, because she's going to be going away." And I was like, okay, because, like I said in the video, I never really used to visit Florida all them years because I used to think that the snakes and the alligators, all this crazy stuff was crawling around the street, which a lot of people think that. But it's not like that. Yeah, there are snakes here, but you don't really see them. Yeah, there are alligators, but you don't really see them. Unless you go to the places where the alligators are at, where people pay to go in and see them. Yeah, they have places where the alligators, that's like in the country, they come out and be walking around the street or whatever. I see stuff on YouTube. I haven't actually seen it with my own eyes, but, I read stories and stuff like that. But they have snakes all over the entire daggone world, not just here in Florida, like I said in the video before. And they have alligators all over the place too. As a matter of fact, they have snakes in Jamaica. And they have, is it alligators? What's the other one? Oh man, I can't remember, but they look like alligators. They have those in Jamaica too. I was reading about it, y'all, because I had asked a question to Kalas Smith on Kalas Smith TV, because, they be out there all over, in the wilderness and doing all sorts of cooking and all kind of stuff. Big up to you, Kalas Smith, and your team. And that's what made me ask. But I saw a video where he was crocodiles. They have crocodiles in Jamaica. He was by a river, but he was on the top, and he was showing the crocodile, like how they were in the water and stuff like that. I was like, what? And then it was another one of the guys from the team. No, it was this other guy, a YouTuber, him and his friend or somebody, and they were walking. They were actually, their videos was about them showing you snakes. So they were like going places, and they were videotaping where they find the snakes up in the tree and stuff like that, and they were holding them and stuff like that. Yeah, they have snakes in Jamaica. They have snakes on a lot of the islands. I heard Trinidad is full with them too. They have these creatures all over the place, not just here in Florida. So don't be scared to come to visit Florida. Florida's a beautiful place. Right now, a whole lot of stuff is going on, as everybody knows, but don't let that stop you from visiting Florida. You know what I'm saying? Florida is beautiful. I haven't been all over Florida, but I'm gonna tell you, Orlando is beautiful. Yeah, we have a lot of homeless people down here, like everywhere. We have projects down here, but they projects are not like how New York projects are. You know what I'm saying? They like short buildings, go like to the second floor or maybe the third. Yeah, they have gangs. They got gangs every goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't ran into any of them. You know, I go places, I walk, I take the bus. Sometimes I drive in a car or whatever. I don't bother people. I lived in New York City for so many years, and I came across gangs and stuff, you know, when I was living in East New York. When I first came to the United States, you know, I was like 12 years old. So I was living at 500 Van Sicklen. So, you know, I came across, there were times, you know, when you had to, you got out of school at 3 o'clock, and, you know, we got out from junior high, and you had to hustle and get home, and everybody had to go home and lock themselves in the houses because, you know, the gangs was going to be out. The gangs was going to be out, girls and boys. The tomahawks, the black spades, you name them, they had them. A lot of them are dead, you know, and some probably still locked in jail or whatever. But I had actually met one of the captains from the Tomahawk. You know, he knew my brother, you know, and I met him. And I was like bowing to him and shaking his hand. I was so proud to meet this man, a gang leader. Believe that. And at those times, the stores, they used to close the stores down at exactly 3 o'clock. The stores used to be locked down because, you know, they used to be outside fighting and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And if they catch you, you know, they would have you, they would initiate you into their gang, you know. So you had to take your butts home and stay in their house until the next morning or whatever. And, you know, this went on for a while, you know what I'm saying? But each morning when I get up, I never really seen nothing. No, I never heard anything happen or whatever, you know, but they do. And, you know, they used to rob people on the train. They used to take my brother got his quarter filled. That was a coat at the time. Everybody wanted to get that coat. And my brother, they snatched his, you know, they took his. But, you know, he he found out the person that took it, and I don't remember the real story, but you know, he chased him down and he got back his daggone coat. And you know, they used to be snatching the chains off your neck and all this kind of stuff. But you know me, I used to always wear my damn chain on my neck, but I never used to be sporting my shit like people be having their stuff all showing and everything. You know, I used to have mine covered and stuff. And I used to wear my earrings, not all of these, but you know, because I didn't have all these holes in at the time. But you know, I put all these holes right here in my ear. I put them in myself when I was 14 years old. Believe it or not, I took a needle and thread, I cleaned the needle with alcohol, and I bored the holes in. But you know, you have to leave the thread in for 7 days, you know, so it would heal. I use alcohol and I cleaned it every day because you have to twist it. But you cannot use a colorful thread. You have to use white thread because a colorful thread could infect the ear, the hole. So, you know, yeah, I did all of this by myself. And at the time, I always loved wearing gold. So I used to have me some 14 karat earrings and stuff. But you know, as I got older and stuff, you know, I started buying a whole lot of gold earrings, different shapes and stuff, putting them in my ear and stuff. And I used to walk around with them. But you know, once I got into the military, I couldn't wear all these earrings. So I used to have to take them out and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I lost a lot of them along the way. And now, you know, I'm up here in my 60s, you know, I wear like one of them. This one is like yellow gold. Some is like white gold. And then the rest is like really silver. You know what I'm saying? Because who cares about all of that, the looks? You know what I'm saying? So I just wear these. Like I said, I lost a lot along the way, so I'm not spending no more money buying jewelry and stuff like that. This chain right here I had for years, monkey years. I bought this in New York. It's 14 karat. Lots of people be asking me, ooh, I love your chain. Where you got that from? You know, the store, I'm quite sure, is not there anymore. But yeah, you know, I bought this from, as a matter of fact, it was a pawn shop. It was a store that sold radios and different kind of stuff. They had jewelry on the side, And, I got it for a good deal because, I met the man, a Spanish guy, but afterwards, I used to go to him and get my little stuff, You could trade in stuff and get stuff, So, yeah. And, I'm an anklet girl. I love to wear anklets, But over the years, I lost it, or someone that I met, he wanted it and stupid me gave it to him. He was a soldier. But that was a nice 14 karat one. I think about that shit all the time, But now, this one that I'm wearing, it looks like real gold, but it's not. But it doesn't turn. I bought it from the beauty supply store. Yeah, it doesn't turn. So I'm sticking with it. I'm not wasting no more money buying anklets, gold anklets. I am not. So I'm sticking with this one. So yeah, you got to be in a good place and write your story. Here I was rambling on. Write your story. Find ghostwriters, because I know a lot of y'all are saying, well, how the hell am I going to write my story? I don't know how to write. You remember all of that stuff. Put it on paper. Get a pen and write everything down, detail to detail. Write it down. Then when you're done, you can, I did my stuff on my phone, on my cell phone, y'all. I took pictures of each page, I numbered it, and I send it off to the ghostwriter. You know what I'm saying? I send it through my phone to the ghostwriter. A lot of people wouldn't tell y'all this, but I'm sharing it with y'all because I want a lot of you to put your stories on paper. You might not have a critical story. You can have any kind of story. You could write about your animals, your dogs, your cats. Even if you got a pet snake, you could write about that. You could write about anything. Just put it on paper and you will feel good about yourself. When you pick that daggone book up, when it's published, and I'm walking to my book. When you put that on paper, you see this? This is the book right here. I showed y'all this before. Yeah. And I name it A Long Way to Myself because it was a long way to myself. Things that happened in this book started from when I was 7, 8 years old. I am 67 right now. So that's a long, long way to myself. So that's why I decided on this title. It fits perfect. And believe it or not, you see the picture right here? This picture, I was in my apartment on Nostrand Avenue. You see the radiator over there? And I was going to a New Year's Eve party at my cousin's and them house in Far Rockaway in New York. It was a New Year's Eve night. I don't remember the year. But I was wearing some black, genuine leather pants, some leather boots, because I don't like to wear fake leather. And this was a nice black top that I had. And I somewhat curl my hair. And yeah, I took this picture right here, right in front of my dresser, because I had the mirror on the dresser was shaped like a half moon, if you can see it. So yeah, this is a picture from then. I didn't have a recent picture of me, so I used this one. You know what I'm saying? But you can still tell it's me. Yeah. I haven't changed that much. But in this picture right here, you know, I was younger. I think I was in my late 30s. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But yeah, you know, and I feel so good about myself, for real. So folks, get that paper and get them pen out. Get the pen out. Google up ghost writers, and there's a lot of them. Just choose the one that you want to work with. Choose the one that you want to work with. A lot of them going to be calling you and texting you because they all be doing it. But choose the one that you want to work with and be on your way. I'm not telling you to do this because I did it, but I did it because it's something that I wanted to do all my life. And like I said in the book, I had an English professor, Nancy Thompson. She's Trinidadian, but she's light skinned, looked like a white woman. She is who encouraged me to write my story. She didn't know anything about me, nothing. Because when I was going to the College of New Rochelle, you know, I never really used to talk. I was like quiet. And I always used to sit in the back of the class, always, even from growing up, from a young girl. And one day, you know, she always called me warrior girl because she knew I was in the military at the time. And she looked me in the eyes. Her class was a writing class. I took a writing class, and you should see my handwriting. I don't know. But anyway, I don't have perfect writing, but you can understand it. But she stood right in front of me in the classroom after everyone had left. And she said, "Jennifer, you are a warrior. I salute you. I can tell that you have a lot of stories, and you need to put your story on paper. You need to write your story, write a book." This is what she told me. You know what I said to her? "Miss Thompson, I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write." She said, "You don't have to be a perfect writer, but I'm just telling you, one of these days, write your story, put it out there. I don't know about your life, but I can tell. I'm looking at your face. Excuse me. And I can tell you have so many stories. You have a lot of pain inside of you. Mind you, I never even chat with this lady about my life. Never did. And after I left, I said, okay, one of these days, when I don't know, she said, when the time is right, you'll do it. And I wrote my book in 21. I had it on paper. And, you know, I was waiting for some money to come my way so I can actually put it out. And in 2023, I actually started doing what I had to do. And 2024, my book was published. Yep. And I was like, so, I don't know, I can't say stunned when I got my book, because, you know, I ordered my book, you know. I ordered a hardcover. I ordered one for my brother. I ordered one for my granddaughter. And I ordered mine. And yeah, Terry, she ordered one too. And another neighbor, he ordered it. You know, he's an Army veteran. And they read my story and they both said, "Oh my God, what a story. What a book." And Terry, every time I see Terry, Terry is always praising me about this book because she said she always wanted to write her story. She said, my story, her story, excuse me, is similar to hers. She said she's been through a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. She says she wrote it out on paper, but she just never, actually put it out, I guess she probably was ashamed or whatever. And she was talking about she didn't know how her family or how people would look at her or whatever. So she was ashamed. So after reading my book, she said, girl, you gave me the encouragement now to do mine. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but you gave me the encouragement just from seeing your book, because you always told me from when I first met you, you said you was going to write your story. You have a lot of stories. And you actually wrote it. And I just read your book. I had to buy your book, support you. And I read your book. And she said she was in tears. She said, oh my God. And, we embraced and stuff. And believe it or not, I did not shed a tear. Like I said, I don't cry anymore. All that pain was lifted out of me. Like a bird just coming off the ground, just flying away. With that, all of that came. And you know what I think? I said this before. The person that ABU, or the person that do whatever bad it was that they done to you, when they die, you really feel great. You feel greater than ever. You know why I said that? Because the person is no longer living on this earth, where you'll be like having memories of this person. The person is dead and gone. They can't come back, dead and gone. And that is what made me feel good. I feel so good because this bad person is no longer here to do anything bad to anyone. No child, no woman, nothing. You know what I'm saying? They are gone. Wherever the hell they at, who cares? They not breathing anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're gone. And he is gone. Couple of years now, I think, but he is gone. I got a phone call from another cousin telling me, but this other cousin didn't even know my story until I told him afterwards. But my cousin lived in Barbados, the one that did the stuff to me, and my other cousin, he lived there too. He's much younger. He told me the man died, and then I spoke to his sister, and confirm it was true. And I feel so good. I feel so good because before he passed away, I still used to think about this man, you know what I'm saying? And I used to be like saying, oh my God, why do you let these kind of people live? Why do you let them live after they do these bad things to people? Because I wasn't the only person he did stuff to. And that used to bother me for a long time. But I decided to put my story in this book. And then I said, you know what, God? When the time is right, you're going to take his behind. And this man, I was told, was suffering with prostate cancer for years. So you see, God was letting him get his. He was suffering. He was in more pain than the pain that he put me through. You know what I'm saying? That I was going through all these years. So you see, folks, there is a God above. The person might not disappear the same time after they do the crime, but sooner or later, it catches up to them. And believe it or not, they be suffering more and worse than you. So you got to let all that pain and everything out. You have to. So find yourself a therapist and start your journey onto bettering your life. I'm telling you, you have to. And do something that you love to do, that you enjoy. Get yourself involved in something that you love to do. You can even start a YouTube channel. It's so many things that you can do. Don't sit there and say, oh, I'm too old for this and that and that. No, you're not too old for nothing. You're never too old. You can still, if you want to go back to school, you didn't finish school, you can go back to school. You can go to college. You could do anything that your mind puts you and say, yeah, you can do this. But you have to get up and put that foot forward and make that step. No one is going to do it for you. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of people out there that's going to tell you, oh, why waste your time doing it now? Girl, you too old. Why you want to do all of that? Don't listen to these clowns. Don't listen to them. They're telling you that because they don't want you to succeed. A lot of them, they haven't succeeded themselves because they didn't push themselves to do things that they wanted to do. So don't let no one tell you you can't be this, you can't do this, you can't go here, nothing. Don't let, that's negativity. Those are negative people. They don't want you to go and get nothing. They want you to be like them or even worse. Don't listen to them, because I was told so many times, I'm not going to be nothing. I ain't going to be this. I can't cook. I can't this. And this is from family members. Even my own damn mother. She's not alive anymore. God rest her soul wherever she is. But I was told this, especially from my mom. It hurted from hearing from other people, but from my mom, that really hurt. And the reason for that is because she didn't accomplish a whole lot that she wanted to do. She ended up having 7 kids from my father. They were married, didn't stay, they didn't even, they didn't even stay together over the years. They were together for a long time, but anyway, she said he didn't want her. She wanted to be a nurse, and he didn't want her to be a nurse. So he tore up her books and all this kind of, he got rid of her books. She was in the school for the nursing, and he got rid of her books. I said to my mother, well, why didn't you just continue with what you wanted to do? She was afraid of him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was abusive his damn self. And it's obvious he was unhappy with himself, so he didn't want her to be nothing. But years later, he married this woman that is the same age as my sister. 2 of my younger sisters, they passed away. But he married this other lady that's her age. I think she's like 60 now. And she looks older than 60 because she looks older than me. And believe it or not, he passed away. But before he passed away, she wanted to get into nursing her damn self. I don't know if she ever succeeded, because she told me she kept trying to pass the test or whatever, but she just gave up. I don't know, like I just said, I don't know if she continued to do it or not. Some things are meant for some people and some things are not. But he was willing to help her, he got her computer, all this kind of stuff. He wanted my daughter to help her with a computer, but my daughter never went, you know what I'm saying? But went to help her. I don't know what my daughter was busy, you know what I'm saying? And then my daughter's Aquarius, and she was like, shoot, he did all of this to my grandma. Why should I go help his wife? And I don't blame her, because I wouldn't have did it either. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have done it either. Excuse me. But yeah, but she I don't know if she became a nurse up to now, but kudos to her if she did, and if she didn't, kudos to her too. But yeah, my mom, she just gave up on doing what she wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? She just stayed in the church, and even some people at the church, they treated her like shit. You know what I'm saying? She was so committed, and she's they talk bad about her and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I said to her, why you continue going to this particular church when these people were cruel? But that's all she had, I guess. But then over the years, she stopped going to church. She had surgery on her knee, like I said. And I guess she was ashamed of going around with that push walk or whatever you call it. So she just used to stay home. She didn't go to church anymore. If somebody passed away, she would go and stuff, and she would pray and sing and stuff like that. But she just didn't, and then, she was getting up there in age, so she was declining, because, if you don't get up and go out and try to move around and stuff like that, your body is going to start decaying on you. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to start getting weaker and whatever until it's time for you to hit the road, Jack. So, she died of natural causes, but, it was her time to go. And before she died, I went to see her in the hospital, and I held her hand. She couldn't talk. She had that thing in her mouth. She couldn't talk, but her eyes was open. But, like a cousin of mine told me, when a person is close to death, the glass eye comes down. I never knew that until I saw a movie, and it's like a shutter, So once that's down, the person that's getting ready to go, they can't see you. They can hear your voice, but they can't see you because that shutter is on their eyes. Like, you take a shade and you close the shade. Yeah, that glass shutter comes down. And they like looking at you like this, but they can't really see you. But they can hear you, and they can't talk. She had that thing in her mouth. I forgot what it's called. But I saw her hand raising up like this. And I spoke about this when I went to her wake. I know I had all them damn people on their freaking toes. But her hand, I saw her hand move like this on the bed. I'm showing you. And I grabbed hold of her hand. She was warm. She was really warm. You can even feel like a little sweat here. She was in the hospital. The hospital is always cold. But she was still alive and stuff like that. And I held her hand, and then my brother, he took his hand and he held her hand by the wrist. And I said, Mommy, I got you. I got you. And then I said to her, don't worry about us. We're going to be fine. Just look into the light. Look into the light and just go. And believe it or not, after I did that, I placed a hand right back on the bed next to her leg. And me and my brother, we walked out the room. I had some family members in there. And I said to my brother, we walked away from the room, and I said to my brother, well, how long is it going to take? Because, they were taking that thing out of her mouth, and they were going to take her downstairs to the, what you call that? Like before you die, they take you in there. My uncle and them, they had already signed up for it and everything. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, my mom is not going to stay here. As a matter of fact, I had already had the dream. So I said, she's not going to be here that long anyway. She's going to be leaving sometime today. I'm telling you. I don't know the time, but she's leaving today. She's not going to be here tomorrow, which was Sunday. And I walked away from the room, and I said to my brother, well, how long is it going to take? Because, they gave her all that morphine, and, they was just putting all that stuff in her. And they was taking the stuff out of her mouth, because when they took it out, she went, oh. That's the only noise that she made. and they were getting ready to take her downstairs to hospice. That's what it's called, hospice, right in the same hospital. But she never made it there because as soon as I walked away with my brother, my cousin Anthony, he came out the door, stuck his head out. He said, "She's gone, she's gone." Remember, I asked my brother, well, how long is it going to take? And he said, not long. My cousin stuck his head out the door and he said, "She's gone, sis." They call me sis. "She's gone." And it was like, I didn't feel sad or hurt or nothing like that. It was like this thing just lifted out of my body. And me and him, we just walked out. And my nieces and them, they were outside, and they were just standing around crying and stuff. I went over and I embraced my niece Amber and Linnell and Jelena. My niece Amber, she's my niece from my youngest sister that passed away. And and my brother's granddaughter and his wife, I embraced them all. And then I just left and I went outside and I just started like looking up into the sky and stuff like that. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel hurt. It was like some kind of release that came out of me. You know what I'm saying? And then I said, when I go to the wake, because I even told my cousin that she's in her 80s, 90s, she's still alive, B Weeks. I told her when I go to the wake, that's what I was going to say. And that's exactly what I stood there in front of everybody. And that's what I said. I told the story how I held her hand. I saw her hand moving up. And and I also made the sign of the cross on her forehead when I told her to look into the light and just go. I made the sign of the cross on her forehead. And I guess I sent her off. I guess that's what she wanted to hear, somebody send her off. And I did. Yeah, I did that. So wherever she is, I hope that she's resting, in peace and stuff like that. From time to time, I dream my mom. I see my mom in my sleep. I see my sister Pam. Sharice, I only saw her one time because she died more recent than them. And, I do see lots of stuff in my sleep, like I told y'all. And, and that's that. So don't forget to write y'all stories, all right? Whatever it is, do it. Whatever you want to do in life that you didn't get a chance to do it. I know a lot of folks had kids at a young age and they weren't able to finish school or whatever, but education is very important. Try to get into some kind of program. Try to learn the computers because you see what time it is now. Try to better yourself. You came in this world for a purpose. A lot of us don't know what our purpose is, but along the way we find out. Some of us never find out because we just stick in one place and we don't try to learn or do nothing different. We stay around the same people that hold you down because they not moving nowhere, and you don't never get to know or find out what your purpose in life is. So get up and get out, put that foot forward and start doing the do. I'm a notary. I came to Florida. I took the test on my phone and I didn't even have to wait that long. I'm a notary. I married 2 people already. I married 2 couples already. Here in Florida, you can marry people. It's called notary efficient. I notarizes people documents I was trying to do that in New York. New York, everything you have to wait for, you have to pay so much money for. And then it just discourages you from doing things. You know what I'm saying? You have to get up and get out and find out what is out there for you in this big old world. There's a lot out there for you. But if you don't get up and go out and, fly your wings, you'll never know. You'll never find out. And don't try to stop your kids from doing things that they want to do. I'm not talking about bad things. I'm talking about good things. Let them go out and fly their wings. They have to learn. They didn't just come in this world to stay under you, to live with you for the rest of their lives. They too have journeys. They came in this world for a reason. Each one of us came in this world with a purpose. We weren't just put here just to put here. We came in here to do a job, and once the job is done, then we go back to wherever we came from. They say, once a man, twice a child. That is true. You come in this world as a child, then you become a grown-up, and then when you get older, you are back down to the stage of a child again, because a lot of you can't feed yourself, a lot of you can't bathe yourself, a lot of you can't take care of yourself. So that's why they say, once a man, twice a child. So before you end up being twice a child, get up, get out, and start doing your due. Whatever it is. I'm not talking about robbing no bank or stealing from nobody or robbing the store or beating up people on the street or selling drugs. None of those things. I'm talking about doing good deeds. Good deeds. Even if you want to volunteer, try to volunteer. They have church pantries. I volunteered at a church pantry. Something I always wanted to do. I tried to volunteer in a hospital. They had a waiting list. I never got called. But I came to Florida and I got into volunteering at this church right here. One day I went over there and they asked for volunteers. And I put up my hand, and then the girl said, "Can you come on Saturday? We have a meeting at 9 o'clock. I said, "Yeah, I could come." Believe it or not, I was there. So I'm in. And I've been doing this from 2021. Yes, sirree. And I love it. I love serving the community. You meet a lot of nice people. And I love giving and sharing and helping people. That's what I love doing. I might not have gotten those opportunities in New York because I tried. And I was so frustrated with a lot of things in New York. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate New York. I love New York. But it was time for me to get out, move on. And thank God for my daughter asking me to come down here, because I probably would have been stuck if I was still up there. Because most of the people that I know, if they didn't move away, they died. And, you getting older and stuff. And it's hard meeting new friends. You meet people, but people are weird these days. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a person, I like to get up and get out. I like to fly my wings. You know what I'm saying? I love people, but I don't like being around a whole lot of people, because people, they wicked. They this, they that, whatever. But, I like to get up and get out and enjoy the outdoors and stuff like that. I love nature, stuff like that. There's so many things that you can do out there. And you don't have to be with anyone to enjoy yourself. I know a lot of people, they got to have people around them to actually enjoy themselves. Then there's a lot of people that they can enjoy themselves by themselves. Well, I'm one of those. You know, I'm the life of the party, no matter where I go. But I've always been a person that really didn't really like being around a whole lot of people. Coming to the United States, you know, I had to get out of that mode, you know, because being in the military, you know, you meet a lot of people from all over the world. And then, especially in New York City, you come across every and anybody in New York City. So you just got to deal with it, you know, and cope with it. You don't have to do what they're doing, but you just have to deal and cope with it. But, you know, I'm free now. See the sheriff department. Oh, I don't know if I told y'all this before. I said it in the video. You know, we have a sheriff that is our security here where we live, you know. So that's really nice, you know. Yeah, but you know, I'm in a good place. I love where I live at. I'm enjoying Florida, Orlando. I love here where I live. I love here. And the people are very nice, but I don't get too involved into people anyway. You know, I say hello, I bring back food from the pantry, put it downstairs. I help out those that need help, ask me for help or whatever. If I see them and they need help, I help. I love it here. I really love it here. And I can't speak for everyone, but most of the people here that I run into, you know, they're very hospitable and stuff like that. They're from different places, different nationalities. And yeah, and I'm living life. And that's all you have to do. Enjoy your life, take care of yourself. And if you have family that you and them are close, you know, you love them and cherish and take care of them. If you and them not close, to hell with it. What can I say? To hell with it. Just do you. And yeah, I'm grateful that I wrote my story. Yep, I love this book. Treasure it. I'm holding on to it. This is my life. I'm holding on to it. Yeah. So I hope lots of you will put in a comment that you're going to write your story. You're going to look up ghostwriters and y'all are going to get to doing what y'all supposed to be doing. God didn't just put you there just to do nothing. Don't let no one stress you out on the job or wherever. Seek therapy. To those of you that need therapy, a lot of us don't think we need therapy, but we do. A lot of us are abused in different ways because abuse comes in different forms. So you do need to seek therapy. And yeah, do the do. That's all I got to say. Peace out. As you see, it's going to rain. The clouds are forming up. So I've talked long enough. So I'm going to go take care of me now. Have a beautiful Thursday. Love you all. And thanks to all my subscribers and those who comment and even those who don't comment. May God bless all of you.